Dave Mater.
No.
Welcome to Trivial Debates.
Hit him with the funk down.
Welcome to this month's edition of Trivial Debates, the ultimate pop culture challenge. We have some awesome new debates this month. Each week, our panelists will be judged and scored on their arguments for facts, passion, and creativity. Our teams this week are Kevin and Jody, Jaemeel and Dave and Jeff.
Woo! Oh, yeah.
How the show works, there are 6 rounds plus a speed round by our top 2 panelists. Movies, television, music, sports, history, and wildcard. We want people to be passionate and personally mean to one another.
Not personally mean.
It always says that. Just go with it.
We want you to be mean. Keep in mind that you can also skip to a new debate by looking at the time indexes in the description and going to the battles that interest you the most. Follow us on Facebook and YouTube. All links and information can be found in the description.
Nice.
Okay. And here's team number 3, the Super Mater Brothers. Are you ready for a war? Yeah.
Are the Super Mater Brothers straight out of a women's prison?
That's right.
Yeah.
Super Mater Bros. Coming right out of the.
That is gang on B block.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Yes.
There seems to be a soundboard bias going on here.
You think you're coming after us?
You can't even handle the truth.
The Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour.
Wow.
Oh my god.
You guys spend all day doing that, or?
All right, I quit.
Yeah, is this really worth it? We should just go to the pub.
Oh,
They're intimidated. It works.
you better be intimidated.
Very intimidated. Yeah.
Yes, I'm super intimidated.
Can you see the intimidation on our faces?
You look scared.
Yeah, clearly.
Thanks, Jane.
Thank you.
What movie never got a sequel but should have? And we'll start with Team 3.
Oh,
Okay. Jeff's given the opening argument for team 3 on this one.
Well, then why are you talking?
When do I start?
Tell us your answer and your argument.
Okay, so we went with True Lies. Okay, guys. So it's a movie I think that definitely could have got a great sequel here. We definitely with the whole tease they did with Jamie Lee Curtis kind of being an agent by the end. They could have had a whole great sequel where they did, bring back Tom Arnold, you bring back Bill Paxton, you do a great sequel. Maybe you call it False Truths or something. I don't know what you do, but you get the whole gang. You get Elisha Dushku, right? And I just think you get like it was 24 before 24. It was like the classic terrorist action thriller. I think it's Arnold Schwarzenegger's best role that he ever did. He even admitted it was his best like acting that I think he did in a movie. He thinks so anyway. It's his best character. I think it deserved a sequel. Like more of all the movies I looked at, I was like, well, like that movie probably should have got a sequel, and I think it would have been great. It might have been better than the first one. Hopefully, it would have been. James Cameron, you bring him back. You get him off the Titanic, for a year, and you get him out. No Avatar. James Cameron, do True Lies 2.
Oh man,
Dave, you have anything that we have?
No, I'm not allowed to say anything.
Oh well, okay. Well, we're good.
You certainly helped, though.
good emotional support there, Dave.
That's our advantage. We're on camera together.
He was motivational support.
Let's go Team 2, Jaemeel and Chris.
Okay, so for this one, we chose The Goonies. I think Jaemeel should be on camera here with me. But the reason I think this would be a great movie to have a sequel is not so much that we should have had a sequel right away because it's an iconic movie. We need a sequel now. This movie was so important to Gen Xers back then. the kids back then loved this movie. I loved watching this movie. I thought it was such a great adventure. I loved watching these kids going through, figuring out these puzzles, finally discovering the treasure of One-Eyed Willie, and floating their boat off into the sea at the end. I think today, though, if we had a sequel, Goonies 2, it could be Generation Z. It could be the kids of Generation X that was in the first one, who have their own new adventure to figure out. They've got to figure out their own puzzles. Maybe they can use smartphones. Maybe they've got some other technology that can help them out that we didn't have back then. Anyways, Goonies 2 needs to come out now. I think it needs to come out soon.
I agree.
Right.
Thanks, Jaemeel.
Longer than that.
We got
All
this,
right.
Chris.
Team 1, Kevin and Jody.
It's supposed to be me, but I'm not on screen. That's okay.
You can
I
take
can
it.
start.
It's fine.
There we go. Okay, I'm here now. We picked Labyrinth, the classic movie with Jennifer Connelly at a young, ripe age, and and of course the immortal David Bowie. This movie was a musical / adventure. Great movie. Tons of animatronics, tons of puppets. Great childhood movie. Scared some, amazed some as well. This movie has been hinted to be something that could be a sequel. They had many plans. They're still working on one now, but it never seems to come to fruition. David Bowie was a fantastic character as a bad guy. You just, you had a little bit of music in there, which obviously was done by Bowie as well. Dance, magic dance, and all those. And the movie itself was just a great adventure. And because of the nature of the story and Labyrinth, being the fact that pretty much anything can happen, you have so much room for possibilities. You could have an older, Jennifer Connelly, which I can't remember her actual name in the movie, but Sarah, I think it is. But you could have her all grown up and having to deal with the Goblin King again, or there's maybe her kids have to deal with it or something like that. So there's just so many opportunities. Like you have like True Lies, and as you guys said, True Lies is something that great movie as well, and even Goonies was a great movie as well. But I just think there's just so much more room for opportunity on Labyrinth, so that's why we picked that one. Ding ding.
Okay.
Seems to be like
I
those-
can't wait for Jaemeel.
Labyrinth, huh?
Both.
And Goonies.
Goonies isn't a good movie, by the way. So.
Now that
Goonies
now that
is not a good movie.
Not a good movie.
Do
Do I need another one? No.
So
one
Goonies
I
is
got was enough.
not a good movie. I disagree. Please prove your point why it's a bad movie. How is it a bad movie, please?
I just don't like it.
That isn't a good enough excuse. True
Well, I don't think
Lies
that makes it a bad
is
movie.
a movie that is, although very good in terms of action, right? A lot of the characters people don't remember. Can you name a character from True Lies, please?
Sure.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger.
Come
Yeah,
on.
so you can even remember the cast.
I even
Thank
know
you.
his name.
Thank you.
They were fake names. They were spies.
It doesn't matter what their
didn't matter.
names were.
Lies.
You remember the
No
characters
truth.
of your own movie. That's how
Arnold
important it
Schwarzenegger's name was Harry.
Okay, let
Harry
me answer-
Stamper.
Harry Stamper. It was his best
Good-
role he
good-
ever did.
Good Google search
Jamie Lee
there,
Curtis.
guys.
That's
I
for all,
knew
but
it.
they don't even
Sexy
know the
but
name of the
comedic.
character.
Okay,
She had potential.
She's the original MILF.
okay.
She was
How-
going to be a double
culturally,
agent.
how well is that movie doing right now?
Not good, but that's not the point.
Not good. Not
what
good.
did you guys say?
My movie, The Goonies, The Goonies, May 2020, right? Has sold over $33 million worth of DVDs, right? September 2020, it was number 2 of the week of Blu-ray sales, netting almost $1 million in Blu-ray sales, right? So it is still culturally relevant
And
today.
a lot of people went to go see Rise of Skywalker too, Jaemeel, but that doesn't mean it was good.
Still culturally relevant. It's still worth making more movies of Star Wars, even though they might be terrible. My movie is good, plus it's still culturally relevant. In terms, sorry, I've already shut you guys down. In terms of Labyrinth, Labyrinth, in terms of the Jim Henson Company, great staff that works there, but Jim Henson animatronics, sorry, isn't really cutting it today. Even though Dark Crystal did win an Emmy just recently, what happened to the show? Oh yeah, it got canceled. Why? Because not culturally relevant. Thank you.
I agree with you. Labyrinth is not
next
culturally
thing.
relevant anymore.
Done.
And Goonies is culturally relevant?
That was one and done.
Goonies is still culturally relevant? I don't think so.
How
I
is
think
Goonies
people are
culturally
buying
relevant?
those Blu-rays because they're trying to recapture their childhood, and then they watch it and they go, "Oh,
Well,
Chris-
people
not
try to
what I
recapture
remember."
the-
So
Chris-
still
Chris-
culturally relevant.
Hold on. Chris said it best when he said his statement. Because Chris said, "Oh, you could have a new generation of kids. They could be doing things with a smartphone." Yeah, I want to spend 2 fucking hours watching a movie about kids looking at their smartphone.
You won't
Fuck
have
off.
to. The people that
Goonies
love
with
the Goonies
smartphones?
and their
That's
kids
okay.
will enjoy it. Thank
Well,
you.
that's the sequel I'm dying for.
Yeah, I want a sequel where it's this.
I'm talking a hypothetical
One Eye
sequel
Willie!
that would have got made circa
advertising.
1998,
Sequels
circa
sound like
1999. That's when True Lies 2 would have came out, because that's when they
True
should have made
Lies.
it.
True Lies made a butt ton of money, but they didn't make a sequel for a reason. It's
Yeah, but
that
the
simple.
sequel- no,
There
but
was
the
so much
sequel-
money on that one. They made a fortune on that
The
movie.
sequel would have been great if they made a good sequel.
No.
Would have been great.
And probably Jamie Lee Curtis's character, literally one of the most irritating characters in movie history.
Now,
You
once
want
she
a
got
whole
sexy-
movie around
What's
that?
irritating about her?
The sex scene. Oh, come on.
Once she got,
She
You
was.
could see,
She
you
was.
could see better
she
dancing
got
in
tough.
Hamilton.
She was looking for some adventure. Come on.
She had an arc. Jody.
an arc.
Labyrinth, out of all the
Five.
movies that you've picked, Labyrinth has the one that easily could be made into anything, and it would
She
still
had a
be a good
rebirth
sequel.
as an individual. It was
Made
into
into anything, meaning it
Anything-
doesn't necessarily
any sort of
have to be
sequel.
Labyrinth then.
that last
No, as long as
scene
it's based
in
on the
True
Labyrinth, it's fine.
Lies
Right.
is like the setup for the sequel. It is
Right.
what this movie can be, and it's really compelling.
Remember when
Chris,
she
how you
shoots
doing?
the gun?
What?
And the guns go.
We're okay. They're not really saying anything about our movie.
But she grew. She grew
But
as a
she
person.
grew.
Now we hear like 20, 30 years later almost. It's going to be amazing to see how she's grown. Elijah Dushku. How do you say her last name?
Dushku, man, you
Dushku,
can't even look. You
Dushku.
can't even talk about your characters
I know, she-
or the
it's
actors that
difficult
play
word.
them.
You're not
for
selling me
ignorant.
on an actress that literally isn't relevant at all.
She's
Well,
relevant.
true.
She's
She is.
really
How is she relevant?
talented.
When is the last thing she's been in?
What's the last
tell
thing you
me.
saw her in?
James and Bob Strike Back.
Wow,
Would have
2001.
been
Great job,
before
dude.
then.
Great job.
Circa
Sean
98,
Astin,
99.
still
when they
working.
would have
Josh
made
Brolin was in the
sequel, guys.
biggest movie of all time. All time.
We're not talking
That's
about a sequel today because nobody wants to watch the Goonies today.
Here,
Nobody
we know
wants
James
to watch
Cameron
the Goonies
can follow
today.
up with an amazing sequel. We know what he did with Terminator 1 to Terminator 2. So he would take True Lies and he would turn it into an amazing sequel, better than the first one.
He was also an executive producer on the
Cameron, he's an
newest one,
auteur.
and that was terrible.
James Cameron is a
And
Canadian
Salvation, don't
treasure,
forget
an American
Salvation.
treasure,
And Salvation.
And
Amazing.
Genesis, and he's like, "This is the one that people are gonna really enjoy." He is out of touch.
If you're
with
going by the
modern
director
audiences.
argument,
The only reason people watched Avatar was because of the special effects of the thing, not the movie. The movie was dog poo. Okay.
what'd you say, Ashley?
I've made my decision.
Oh, I had one more point. I was just letting them talk for a little
She
bit.
made her decision.
She made her decision, but I'm appealing to the judge to say one more
You
thing.
don't need to appeal. It's
You
done.
Can say one more thing.
Okay. One of the actors in the movie, his name is Ki Hong Kwan, is of Chinese descent. That would allow the Goonies to be in the Chinese market and thus also make tons more money because it would have access to that. So one, we would get a quality film, plus it would make a lot of more money as well. Thank you.
Okay. So I love all of these movies, and I would love to see a sequel for all of these movies. So this was a hard decision for me because they are 3 of my favorite movies of all time. But I'm giving it to Jaemeel and Chris because I like their argument for what they would do with the sequel.
Racist stereotypes.
You mean True
With a
Lies?
Chinese kid.
More Goonies. Nobody
He's
else.
actually Vietnamese,
I
but he
don't
has
want
Chinese
Goonies.
descent.
Well,
I
this
would love
saddens me
I
on
love
multiple
Goonies.
levels.
I do. I loved it.
One for the good guys.
Amazing.
Well,
Life.
we knew you were going to get at least one.
That wasn't even the music question. It wasn't even the music question.
Meow meow.
Meow meow.
So TV.
Ding ding.
Okay.
We also have to, can I make a suggestion here? Can we like not all talk at once because it's really hard?
I agree. That's I stopped talking. I let you guys kind of.
We all can have a point. It's fine, but let's relax it a bit.
Take turns.
I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I just wanted to have that out there.
What TV show had the most devastating character death? And we'll start with Team 1, Jody and Kevin.
All right, I struggled picking an answer for this, but I picked Tasha Yar in Star Trek.
What?
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, she was a great character.
Listen, Tasha, the reason it's devastating is because even Worf says it in yesterday's Enterprise. Her death had no meaning.
Yeah, had no purpose.
No purpose, no meaning. It was sudden, and it was in a show. Now it's cool to kill your main characters constantly in a show, but Star Trek, it rarely happens, and that's why it was devastating. It was a surprise. It was, I mean, she wasn't necessarily the most beloved character, but she was a good character. She was, and she was a lot like Worf. She wanted her death to have meaning, and it didn't. So it's devastating.
It's a tragedy.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ding ding.
Ding ding.
All right, Team 3, Jeff and Jay.
We're already going. It's okay. It's us now. Well, hello, my friends. I'm ready to begin my opening statement here.
Is this a loud single?
The character I am arguing for, that Team 3 is arguing for, is Opie Winston from Sons of Anarchy, who was played by the great, not late, Ryan Hurst. He's still alive. But he had also played, he often plays characters who die or have tragic endings. And so his character dies in Sons of Anarchy's 5th season as the result of revenge for some of the events of Tig Traeger, as played by Kim Coates. And his character in Opie Winston is the best friend of Jax Teller, who's the main protagonist of that series. They have been trying to reform the motorcycle club that is the basis of the show, the Sons of Anarchy, to become more noble, more about family and not falling within rules. When he dies, it breaks Jax. He spirals out of control. He seeks revenge in some of those horrific ways, and he turns into the kind of things that they hated the most. And he loses that moral compass that eventually is his undoing in the show. There's other tragedies that come later, but that one is one of the greatest. It's also just how brutal the death is. It's incredibly violent. He's beaten to death with a pipe in the prison while they all have to watch, and he's screaming, and it's awful. So it's definitely the most devastating to the show. We're crying for it all. Yeah, sorry.
All right.
Oh, that's it? It's over? Okay.
All right.
Okay. This one's mine, so. Okay, just let me know when I'm supposed to start.
No. Don't take him down. Put him up.
I'll take them down. Don't worry. I'll take them all down. Take your all down.
I admire your confidence, Jaemeel.
Yep. It's good. I have a lot of heavy lifting with this one. So.
All right, go.
Okay. Minute 30. All right. Humankind cannot gain anything without first giving something up in return. To obtain something of equal value, something must be lost. That is alchemy's first law of equivalent exchange. In Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, the character Nina Tucker and the dog Alexander are combined into a one person.
Oh.
Did we lose him?
Lose them?
We lost him.
Well, I guess Chris, over to Chris. He's got to take over.
Chris, take over.
Tag team.
Answer.
Chris has never
coming
watched
back.
this.
He's coming back.
I guarantee it.
So
Yeah, this was Jameel's choice where
It's a fucking anime.
take it. I have no clue what the show is.
Sorry.
Oh, there we go.
All right. Okay. Sorry. Nina Tucker and Alexander the dog are combined into one person, a chimera, which is like a half animal hybrid, and then is brutally slain by the killer Stain. This impacts the characters across the board. Edward and Al, the main characters of the show, are hampered and hindered by this situation because it causes them to lose faith in themselves, the military, and also humanity itself. 3 seconds extra, even with the escape. Okay.
Amazing answer.
Amazing answer.
Well, you know what? I think we can cut out Kevin right away. Like he even said,
Her death had no meaning.
Nobody really liked that character. The death had no meaning, so nobody gives.
That's not true.
That's what makes
That's
it
not
devastating. Is that
No,
she
not.
died and it had no meaning.
She died for no reason.
Yeah.
What was the impact?
I would also say with Opie, his death also had no meaning in a lot of ways because
Thank you.
he went out of his way to go into prison to protect Jax. Yes, he kind of died for Jax, but only to make Jax go crazier. His whole life had been crapped on by the club and everything.
He lost his wife, he lost everything, but he had stayed around. He was so loyal because their respective fathers had started the entire club in the beginning.
So him dying actually put him out of misery, which is pretty much the best thing you could do. You do that with dogs that are sick too.
Jax goes from a very noble character because the whole show is based on Hamlet, and it's got the.
I'm fully aware of the show.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you like it too.
It's a good devastating. How is it devastating again?
It's devastating because you understand that the hope is lost, and then you see the person Jax becomes after that.
Also, it's more just like Opie. The character is really sad, man. Like it's just his character.
His character is sad.
Well, just his story. Like, I mean, his wife was killed when they were supposed to try to kill him. He ended up getting revenge on that person, and then he went through a bunch of other crap that was, he was with a stripper. He got married. Was getting married to her. Seemed like he was going to be happy, and then he kind of just sacrifices himself. So,
right, he was going to get out, right, and then he ends up going in. He's only in prison because he was helping Jax. He's so loyal to the end. His loyalty to Jax, even though he knows that it's wrong for him. It's everything that's wrong in his life.
Can any of us talk now? Or are we going to do a full synopsis?
No, let's. Can we put in the DVDs instead and just
Yeah, can we just watch the Blu-ray? I have them.
Jody, I would love to hear you talk about yours.
So
thank you.
So I'll start with Full Metal Alchemist because it's an anime. Not everybody's aware of it. Is it a devastating character death? I don't know because honestly, I've never seen it.
Okay, well, I can go into detail about it. So you have
no, it's fine. I already had the Sons of Anarchy, but anyway, I'm just going to make a quick point, and you can go into it after. Okay.
Okay.
My point here is though that I think that when characters die, devastating deaths, I think the big issue is if it's an anime, I don't feel anything. I don't care. It's a drawn character. It's not played by a real soul. Okay. The OP thing, yes, I definitely was upset when I watched it to see it. But the problem with Tasha dying is she had so much potential. There was a massive amount of backstory that was available to deal with her. And it actually affected the entire cast because people got moved around because of it. It's obviously because Denise Crosby left, but it wasn't. They could have easily recast that character. Denise Crosby is a B actress at best. So it's, we're not talking like she's some stellar, actress, but the character itself is.
And she obviously was liked because
absolutely
they brought her back a bunch of times.
I don't think it was that devastating. We got Worf as the security tactical guy after that. And
we had Worf anyway. It doesn't really matter. But what you're saying, but you actually helped me because what you're actually saying is that it actually affected the entire cast. Opie did die, and yes, that did affect Jax on Sons of Anarchy, absolutely. But that entire show is filled with main characters dying. Like everybody in that fucking show dies eventually. There isn't that many that live.
It stands out amongst the rest.
I don't think it stands out any more than Gemma's does, or any more than the dad does, which I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Yeah, but he's nowhere different. I can't think of anybody else that died on a Star Trek show that had more of an effect, even though it really didn't have an effect. If you think about the story.
Dax.
Fuck Dax. Who cares?
Yeah, screw that.
Dax died at the end of
He's
the
putting
second to
animating
last
characters
season.
instead
Not
of
the first season.
She's there for the whole time. We don't even get a full sampling of what's available for that story with Denise Crosby's character, and it could easily have been recast, but they didn't. They ended up moving around people. Worf obviously moved into the position, stuff like that. I think that is really the key of being a devastating character death is how it affects the show. The show is completely reworked at that point because they had to move around people. And at that point, they started moving around other people like Jody as well and stuff like that. So there was a whole shift going on. Whereas Sons of Anarchy, Opie dies. Yes, some of the characters are affected, but life moves on and it continues to go. He died in the 5th season, and they had how many seasons of that show? I think it was 7 or 8. So I'm asking you guys because I don't remember off the top of my head, but anyway, and as for the Full Metal Alchemist, I'm sorry, I can't sympathize that hard for a cartoon character.
Sorry, that's your problem, not actually true. People are very devastated by animated deaths.
I'm not denying that.
Yeah, Up is a perfect example of people bawling out of their mind for it. And Full Metal Alchemist, that's for Nina Tucker and Alexander, is another example. You have this small child, 8 years old, who has ultimate faith in our father that he'll be able to succeed in his military plan. Oh, really?
You got beeped.
I got beeped?
You got beeped.
Well, that's only our 5 minutes being up.
Rebuttal limit.
Well, I think Jaemeel should get a little bit because I did cut him off.
And I disconnected. I need to figure out this thing now too. Okay, so you have a dog and also a small child, both killed, right? Both killed, slain in front of the heroes of this story, right? What is the impact, not just only to the characters on the show, but also online? You put Nina Tucker in Google right now, and you will see people make memes about how devastating that is. I've never seen anything about Tash Yar outside of a joke. And Opie, no, bruh, no, not Opie.
Oh, why not Opie?
Why not Opie? Yeah,
type in Opie. Type in Opie death and see what you get.
Remember the song?
Yeah, the song.
I will not be commanded.
All right, can we get?
No, I have no clue what you're talking about.
Remember that? That was great.
I don't remember that.
He closes the hearse door. All right.
Okay, enough of the synopsis, please.
It's so good.
Yeah. I almost know the whole fucking show from your
end. So devastating.
Devastating. It's the most devastating TV death ever.
If you keep repeating it, doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
Jack's killing his own mother is way more devastating than Opie dying. Okay, come on.
Have we heard of Chris at all?
Have no meaning. Deaths have no meaning.
Anyway.
Okay, I'm giving it to Jeff and Dave.
Woohoo! Teammate,
be commanded.
I will not be commanded. I will not be controlled.
Okay.
All right. Music. This is going to be a fun one.
Okay, I'm going to restart my modem while Chris cleans up.
What's the worst music video ever made? And then, well... Okay, we'll start with Chris.
Okay, video I choose. Let's get me on the screen. There we go. Video I chose is "Never Gonna Give You Up." I think we've all heard that song.
That's iconic.
We've been addicted to love.
We wouldn't have a Rickroll.
Okay, we're not at the part yet where we do a rebuttal.
I'm sorry.
The video is terrible. If you watch, it's mostly just freaking ginger, redheaded Rick Astley going back and forth. There's a bartender in there for some reason. It's just him singing. It's a typical stupid 80s video. But the reason it's the worst music video ever made is because of the damn Rickroll. How many of us have been tricked into watching that damn video? Okay? You go to click on something, you want to say, how, you know what? Show me the features of this car that I'm looking up. Let me see what kind of tires it takes. Oh, never going to give you. Oh, fuck, not this again. It happens all the time. That video has currently it has 751 million views on YouTube. I wonder, I would love to know how many people actually looked up that video to fucking watch it, and how many people were tricked into watching that video. Like, I guarantee you, less than 10,000 people have actually looked up that video to watch it. That's 750 million people who got tricked into watching it. Enough said.
All right. Okay. Jody and Kevin.
All right. We picked a video that has brought no joy to anyone ever, unlike Chris's pick. We picked Avril Lavigne's Hello Kitty. I don't even know what to say about this. It's so terrible. It's set in a candy store. She's wearing some weird candy dress in Japan and somehow still racist with the Asian dolls behind her, the emotionless Asian girls that are dressed exactly the same and doing like these robotic motions. It's not awful. To mention that the video is terrible, but the song that goes along with it is unlistenable. And nobody would ever try to do a Rickroll situation with this video because you wouldn't be friends with that person anymore that did that to you. It just goes from a candy store to they're on the street dancing,
and it's got like every possible racial stupid thing in it imaginable. It's basically supposed to cater to the Japanese market, but literally they didn't bother to actually like look up anything correctly. It's brutal.
Okay.
All right,
Jeff and Dave.
We went with WAP, the Cardi B one that just came out.
Oh, you mean WAP?
WAP.
Wet ass pussy.
Wet ass pussy. Yes. The video is visually repulsive, but mesmerizing, which is why I hate it. It's one of these videos where they have all the colors and they have all the snake and cat and so all sorts of occult references. I hate that when you watch it, you just go like, what? It's just colors and naked women. And it's awful and great and awful. Mostly awful.
I like that. I like that add on there, Dave. Good job.
Mostly awful. The song sucks too. I mean, the music, it's just overall not really cutting it as far as music videos go for me. It has nothing to say. It has no real message other than sex and I guess gaudiness and just like being rich and having big cats, I think, and snakes, and just kind of like laying around with them in your house and then having like a treadmill to walk on. I don't really get it. It's not really clear what's going on in the video, which is why it's infuriating and why it's the worst.
Okay.
I would love to start a rebuttal.
Go for it.
Go for it.
I would love to start it, so I will. Let's start with Chris's and Jameel's pick. That's an iconic video, even though it's not a great video. It is iconic, and it's iconic to the point that it probably is one of the most viewed YouTube videos ever.
Because there's a reason for that.
That doesn't make it the worst music video.
It's also brought so much joy to so many people.
That's right. It's actually brought joy to people who rickroll other people. There's a fucking name for it. Like that's iconic. That's not the worst music video. I actually
enjoy getting rickrolled. I'm always
sometimes
good job.
You're like this is gonna be a great video, and then you're like, oh, there's fucking Rick Ashley dancing like a retard.
Yeah, I don't agree with this one.
I'll tell you though, every time I'm rickrolled though, I'll watch it for a couple minutes.
It's not bad. You don't get rickrolled when you're looking for a video. You get rickrolled when you're at work looking up something important.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's
that's
completely irrelevant to the name of the question. The question is, what's the worst music video ever made? That is not the worst music video ever made. Actually, if anything, it's probably one of the better ones when you think about it because it's got so many views. So I'm not even. You're done. I'm already pushing you aside. So the next one is I'm going to go with the Mater Boys here. Now, they picked definitely a better, shittier video. I agree. However,
shittier.
it's a video, better and shittier. But you actually said it yourself that it's mesmerizing. If it's mesmerizing, how is it the worst music video? You watched the whole thing, didn't you?
No.
Something
Jeff said
can't-
I asked
can't be-
Jeff felt more strongly about this one, but he's like, this is bad, and I watched it. I was like, you're right, this is bad. I don't want to watch this. We should definitely go with this.
It's
It
not my
can't
kind of
be-
music.
It
It's
can't
very
be visually
predictable.
repulsive and mesmerizing at the same
Yeah,
time.
it can't be.
Yes, it
Ours-
can be.
Ours
Yes,
is
it
more
can.
visually
repulsive, and it's
repulsive.
not mesmerizing.
No,
but in a mesmerizing way.
It's a visually repulsive, mesmerizing sort of thing.
Mesmerizingly repulsive.
Mesmerizingly repulsive.
Can I finish?
Yeah,
Can I finish?
Yeah,
All right. Anyway, the Avril Lavigne song that we picked is, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen the video, and I really
No,
hope you
at
haven't
least-
because it's terrible.
At least that song that you picked is an enjoyable song to listen to. I like that song.
What?
Yeah, me too.
You like what?
Which song?
Why not?
What song?
The
Avril
Avril
Lavigne.
What song? Avril Lavigne's "Hello Kitty." You like that song?
Yes, why not?
You guys are so full of shit.
You are
Everything-
fucking
Number
lying.
one, I know 100% there's no way Dave Mader would listen to that song.
I like everything.
no
Avril
fucking
Lavigne
way.
Does I like everything that Nickelback does as well? They were married for a little while.
All right. Well, that's great. Anyway,
Great.
what I'm trying to say though is that
Don't put down our Canadian band.
it's visually. Shut up. I'm trying to talk. It's visually repulsing. Absolutely, I agree. Our song definitely is, even more so than WAP. WAP is very popular with the young crowd though, and that doesn't make it a worse music video to us. Yeah, because we don't understand that culture because we're out of that loop now.
I could understand the culture.
I had to look up what WAP originally meant because I'm that old, but I know what it means now. And overall, you sold me on the fact that there's girls and shit in it. So it's like, why is that big of a deal? We have literally dolls with no emotion that are played by real people, by the way. And on top of that, you have Avril Lavigne being absolutely, in my opinion, very disrespectful to the Japanese culture, even though it was made for the Japanese culture. The show, out of all three of these
How was it
picks,
disrespectful
ours
to the Japanese culture?
It's just it's so retarded. It really is.
Sorry, that is very
the-
insulting to special needs individuals in your.
Oh, I'm
your
sorry.
response.
I'm not using it in that response, but anyway. Sorry, go ahead, Kevin.
It's the Asian women that are behind her, the emotionless sort of Asian doll.
So
the
geisha, which they're supposed to not show any
they're not
emotion.
geishas.
They're not geisha.
Not
The
geishas.
geisha,
Come
like-
on.
Come on.
No.
Have you seen this
they
video?
are not even close to
I have. I
geishas.
believe I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was her trying to cater into that market. And you know what? Whether it goes fly great with the Japanese culture, that's fine. But you have to remember, she is an international artist. This is an artist that does make music for the entire world, not just Japan. And to release something like that has terrible amount of views on it, it's got terrible ratings on it. And between all three of these videos, it definitely has the least amount of views. Your
Least
pick,
amount of views
guys,
does not necessarily mean its quality or lack thereof.
I'm sorry. If you have a lot of views on YouTube, you're doing something right. It's that simple.
Not necessarily.
And you, of all people, Jaemeel, should know this.
Why? Do I have a lot of views on YouTube?
No, but you can definitely understand that culture. You're very within it. So as far as I'm aware. So
Our video was like, the Cardi B asked the director asked Cardi B, what effects do you want? And she just said all of them.
yeah.
And that's what happened. It's
So
just
she
like-
Michael Bayed it,
She Michael Bayed it with a tons of color.
which is a specific directorial choice. So
Hurts the
therefore,
eyes.
that does not make it a worse video. Are you saying that
I
The
agree.
Rock
It hurts
is?
my eyes,
You
Jaemeel,
saying
and
that
that's
The
how
Rock
I
is
based
worse
it.
in the room?
If it hurts my eyes, it goes on the worst video.
You put
this
sunglasses
was, I was
on.
like, this is not something I would have spent money on. But
You would not have spent money on.
No, I would not have. But with Rick Astley, the Never Gonna Give You Up, like I think it is a decent enough music video. The song has its place, but the views,
Or
the
the
fact that it has the
song.
views, it's
The
all
song
they're
has
all
its
fake.
place.
It's everybody. It's getting people to. It's faking people to listen.
The
to
video is not great, but it was also an 80s video made on a really shitty budget. So
Judge, can you please? They stated that the music video was not great. I just want to make sure that key piece of evidence is highlighted. Thank you.
this isn't a court.
All right, I think Kevin and Jody had the best argument, so I'm giving it to them.
Thank you.
Although I do think WAP is the worst video.
You do?
I wouldn't disagree.
I
It
do,
is
but I
a
don't
garbage
think you-
video.
I've never seen it.
Oh my god, it's horrible.
I saw about 20 seconds.
It's
of it.
horrible.
Jody,
Yeah,
what
it's-
video were you guys? I didn't know. I actually didn't know what music video
They
you
were
were.
Hello Kitty by Avril Lavigne.
I've never seen it.
I know. I could tell by how you were talking.
It is bad.
When
That's
you
why
were,
we should-
oh, nice try though. Oh yeah, they're geishas.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, they weren't anything close to geishas.
my first reaction to it was just, what is she
Repulsion?
doing? Like she was
Yeah.
just, I'm like, this is just silly. Yeah, but I was horrified by Jeff and Dave's. That's an awful video.
How did you like Chris's suggestion?
I like that song.
Well, she
and I
was
like-
she was tricked by it.
What?
Well,
So you were horrified. What did we not sell the horror enough in the?
Yeah, you said it was mesmerizing.
Okay, let's move on.
You fucking up with the mesmerizing.
Don't be so needy, Dave.
Isn't always a good thing. You
Don't
can look
let
at
the
it
infighting
in a
continue.
context.
All right.
Yeah, we're only 3
Sports.
questions in and we're already an hour.
Best sports movie.
We got this.
Dave's turn.
Oh, we got this.
Is this me, Kevin?
It doesn't have to start.
I-
With
Yes, this is you.
Who am I? I don't even know what order I'm in.
You're at Jeff and Dave.
Jeff
Whatever-
and Dave.
whoever you want.
I think Dave and Jeff are next. Yeah.
Dave and Jeff.
Okay, we'll go. No, don't take us down. Put us up.
No, we'll take you down. Don't worry.
That's the phrase of the day.
Just trying to throw you out.
Yeah.
The
Okay,
controller
so-
is already predicting the outcome.
Yeah, so we are arguing for the 1989 film Major League as best sports movie, which starred Charlie Sheen, Wesley Snipes, Tom Berenger, and a great ensemble cast that is really holds up to this day. This film is amazing. This film establishes Major League Baseball, but also is a great underdog story about an owner who wishes to move the Cleveland Indians to from Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, to Miami, so she can live in the sunshine, because she was like a gold digger type wife who was married to the owner, and then when he died, she inherited the team, but she has no real interest in baseball or any of it else. So she wants the team to lose, and they recruit all of sort of this like island of misfit toys ensemble who are technically good enough to be professional baseball players, but like just barely, or would typically just be minor leaguers. And so they're all going to get their shot, and that hunger, and that when they find out that that's the case, that they are sort of part of this ploy, that they all unite and they actually become one of the best teams that year and will go on to win their division, which is a great story. And there's a lot of great interactions between, in particular, Charlie Sheen, Wesley Snipes, and Tom Berenger's characters, as they're kind of like the trio. There's a great romance story with Rene Russo and Tom Berenger built into it. It's not just a sports movie, it's also a movie about people and these different players at different times in their life, and how that is sort of affecting it. And definitely in Tom Berenger's case, it's just one more year in the sun.
What the fuck was that?
We heard you,
All
by the way,
right.
Kevin.
Yeah, I know.
Chris and Jaemeel.
I was only pretending to whisper.
Okay.
Should be Jody next. I went first
What
last
did you whisper? Did you whisper?
Jameel's turn,
That was a
right?
horrible choice.
time. Maybe.
No.
No, this is actually it's not my choice. It was Chris's choice.
But you guys have to split the arguments, and Chris has gone 2 of your 3, right? So
Yeah, he'll have the last two.
okay,
God. Okay.
Chris is gone.
Well, then put Chris on.
arguing?
So then take Jaemeel down and put Chris up.
Yeah. Well, no.
Yeah, you have to put And then,
Here we go. Okay, first of all, leave it to Dave to pick a baseball movie. Boring.
I like baseball. It's Jody that doesn't like baseball.
We went with Happy Gilmore, best sports movie of all time. This movie.
I can see Jameel's face palm here in the control room.
This
just so you can see.
movie, it had comedy, it had action. You know what was great about this movie? You don't have to be a sports fan to enjoy it. Anyone can enjoy this movie. I don't know anyone who's seen it and hasn't liked it. It's about Adam Sandler.
I already forgot. What movie did you pick?
He's a hockey player.
Happy Gilmore. Okay.
Yeah, Happy Gilmore.
Sorry.
And he discovers he can drive the ball really far. We all know the gist of the story. You know what? Happy Gilmore, he doesn't love golf, but he plays it because he wants to save his grandma's house. So essentially, it's a movie about him learning how to play golf, but he kind of already knows, and it's a comedy, and he gets in fights with Bob Barker, and It's just a funny movie throughout. Movies also need to have a great villain. This movie had Shooter McGavin. Remember this guy? Every shot, Shooter McGavin,
played by Christopher McDonald.
One of the greatest villains in a movie of all time. One of the lines that always sticks with me is when he says, "I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast." Happy just looks at him and says, "You eat shit for breakfast?" No.
That's the best line you got, eh?
Hilarious movie.
Okay.
I don't feel I have to do too much on this.
Jody and Kevin?
All right. So you were talking about underdog stories and, guys who are learning how to do things. Well, it's in my title of my movie, which is Dodgeball, the true underdog story.
Yes!
I don't know why you're oh-godding. It's a great movie. It stars Vince Vaughn as a chap, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, Peter LaFleur, who owns a gym called Average Joe's, and it's dilapidated, it's going under, and he's just trying to make some money. And what he's figured out is if he joins a supposedly competitive dodgeball league, he could potentially win enough money to keep the gym running. So there's a misfit group here of basically losers, for a lack of a better word, to try to form a team to compete in competitive dodgeball, which everybody believes is literally stupid. Like, it's like people don't even take it seriously. It's on the worst ESPN channel there is, stuff like that. Like, it's the lowest form of sport according to everybody. This is a true comedy, has a lot of greats in it. The main villain is Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller, obviously being a comedian himself, certainly can hold his own when it comes to that type of stuff. The movie itself is just nonstop fun, laughs, enjoyable movie. And at the end, when things go well and they win, great. Overall, the movie itself, it's a decent movie. It's got a good supporting cast, and there's a lot of good, funny jokes in it. Past that, when I get to the rebuttal stage, I'll explain why it's much better than the other guys. But overall, just a great, enjoyable movie. A lot of fun. A lot of people enjoy seeing it, and overall, just great fun, good experience.
Dodgeball is a means of oppression, and is a horrible sport. Because it's the whole singular purpose of the sport is to find weak pieces and eliminate them. It is a means in which an example of the worst parts of society.
Is literally every sport.
What the hell does
not in golf? Not in golf. Golf.
Jaemeel, respectively, do you understand the question?
Uplift.
Do you understand the question, Jaemeel?
I do understand the question. Do you understand the question?
Okay. Absolutely, I do. It's about the movie based on the sport. It has nothing really to do with how bad the sport is.
A movie about a sport about oppression is not good.
Major League is the best sports movie.
It isn't, actually.
Of the three of these movies, it's the best movie about a sport, about a team, but it's really about kind of Tom Berenger's character, who is, I think, coming to the end of his road as an athlete, and that's really
an actor. It's about the young guys too.
But it's kind of like he's kind of like the main focal point, and then like
Jeff, I have to disagree with your statement of it being the best sports movie.
He sure does.
And he runs to first base, and that's like the end of the movie. And
he points like he's Babe Ruth.
He does the whole point thing, and then he goes for the bunt, and he guns out.
So what you're saying is he heavily relies on baseball tropes.
His knees are going, and he says, "You know what? No, I got enough juice in me to lay that one last bunt."
But he gets Rene Russo in the end.
He made a
lot of mistakes in life. He had to turn those things
to
around.
take a movie I love and make it sound so boring.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Happy Gilmore is
There's
about
a great comedy in it too. It is a really funny movie.
It's funny.
It's funny. Change the volume controls because it seems like the meters are a little bit louder than everyone else.
I disagree. Based on my headphones, you're the loudest one. But anyway.
Perfect. Okay, I'm sorry. Happy Gilmore is about uplifting individuals.
Both your movies have Ben Stiller.
Yes, actually, and similar enough, many people believe that Ben Stiller's character originated from Happy Gilmore and transitioned into Dodgeball.
Great.
Okay.
What does that have to do with anything?
Nothing, just a fun fact, including the fun fact that Happy
What is the
Gilmore
fun
is
fact,
about
Jeff?
uplifting
Don't
individuals.
be stepping
For
on my
example,
ground.
in Happy's dream sequence, what does he want to see? He sees the love that he has. She's holding 2 pitchers of beer, one for him and one for her, obviously showing the equality in their relationship. Additionally, you see his grandmother pulling the slot machine and winning. He wants her to succeed. In the movie, what is the high point? What is the most important thing to Happy? Happy winning back his mother's house, using golf as a means to improve his family. He finds a homeless guy who is at the beginning of his time on the pro tour. He gives him his last dollar. He states it's his last dollar. What does he do when he has the opportunity to help out the homeless person? He gives him a job and allows him to raise himself. No, well, I'm bringing up facts. You guys are
bringing up facts about pitchers of beer. What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
That's symbolism, dude. If you cannot understand that, that's not my problem. That's
symbolism and Billy and okay, all right, never mind.
Yes. No, I see. That's a good statement you just did. Right, back away from that point because you know it's true. Okay,
Dodgeball's not that good of a movie. It's not that good of a sport. Not that good. Yeah, neither. It's both.
I'm not arguing.
And sport-wise.
What Dodgeball does well is you say it's not a great sport, but what Dodgeball does well is it highlights that the reason that most people watch sports is because of the entertainment factor. It spoofs like the Jason Bateman character and
I love golf, but it's boring as hell to watch.
Around it. You can take this sport that is supposedly boring and turn it into something exciting just by having some talking heads and some fancy graphics.
And that to a degree happened with Happy Gilmore as well. You know, the crowds were starting to enjoy him and stuff, and I get that. And honestly, guys, all of these movies I did enjoy. Okay. However, if I had to pick between the 3, I would obviously pick my own for obvious reasons. But I actually did, out of all 3 of them, I would say I still enjoyed mine the most, and then I'd probably do Happy Gilmore second. Major League is a boring movie to watch most of the time. It is a boring movie. Tom Berenger was already washed up at this point.
It's fantastic. It's authentic to Cleveland.
It's the die for, Dave.
Jody, quick question. If Tom Berenger's character was so interesting, what happened to him in the sequel?
I didn't say he was.
What happened to him in the sequel?
I don't think he was in the sequel.
Oh, I guess he wasn't worth coming back. They couldn't even replace the character. Wesley Snipes' character was so interesting, they replaced him with another person.
Omar Epps plays him in the sequel.
It's not about the sequel. We're talking about the first movie.
We're not talking about the sequel.
His character wasn't even interesting.
The fact that our movie has sequel and yours don't.
It doesn't need one.
To the fact that ours was the best.
Yeah, they made
ours was the most commercially successful.
All right, can we all just one talk at a time, guys? Like, come on.
Go ahead, Jody.
The what I'm trying to say here is Major League itself is a decent ensemble cast. I'll give you, and you know what? Happy Gilmore has a decent cast too. So does my movie. Out of all of them, though, I would say my cast probably is the least liked to begin with. When you first see all these characters, they're not liked. You don't like them, and then you grow over time to enjoy them, like Pirate Steve and stuff like that. And I'm ignoring that, so I don't care. The main thing is Major League itself is a boring movie to watch. There are some really cool scenes in it, but if you don't like baseball, you already have lost 3/4 of that fucking movie. And I don't like baseball, so therefore not a great movie to watch. Happy Gilmore, absolutely enjoy golf. I think it's a neat story. However, does it really make me happy at the end that Happy actually achieved things by being a complete idiot and beating up Bob Barker? No, not really. Where Dodgeball, they try their hardest and they try to win and they win.
There are way better golf movies than Happy Gilmore.
He finally appreciates golf to learn a short game to be able to have a full skill set. Major League is racist and sexist.
I agree.
Yes, but that's part of the charm of the 1990s, 80s.
There we go. We heard the baby.
Yep.
I'm giving it to Jeff and Dave.
No way!
All right, everybody. We need to switch up our tactics and make boring arguments.
Baby!
They had good arguments. Shut up.
That is probably the best moment in that movie too, when they play that song and it comes out.
Oh yeah, it's electric.
All right.
You need that.
Kevin, it's time for you to shine.
All right, history. If you were to remove a single event from human history, what event would make the biggest impact on modern day life?
Who's first?
I think it's us.
You guys.
All right. Well, I picked the discovery of antibiotics. And that is the obvious answer because there would just be less people without it. I mean, before we discovered antibiotics, the average lifespan of a human being was about 47 years. 15 years later, it's 76, 77 years. Not only does it have a big impact on people, it cures a multitude of diseases, but also affects the very climate of the planet because there are so many people now. And we all need energy and we all need
which grows the innovation as well.
Yes. But it's the biggest impact because, well, most of us wouldn't even, half of us here wouldn't even be alive without it. You think about the diseases that have been cured, like scarlet fever. Our son had it, and without antibiotics, he might have died. But with antibiotics, it was one course of antibiotics and he was fine. It barely registered. And I don't know what else. That's it. It is the biggest boon to human existence ever.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff and Dave.
Okay, so we went with the discovery of nuclear weapons by Oppenheimer, or just by the Manhattan Project, or just in general by the scientists of the time. If nuclear weapons had never been discovered, that would have had the biggest effect on modern day because there would have been a lot more war, traditional war. With nuclear weapons, there was a lot more Cold War, which was countries not attacking each other or proxy wars for resources. So the whole development of the world would have been a lot different probably had nuclear weapons not been invented. So we also nuclear energy, nuclear power. If any of those things had not been invented, like what would that have done to inventions? Where would we be behind where we are now? Would we have cell phones? Like it's unknown. But I mean, all these things I think are forward. Dave, you have anything? I got it. All right. It's still got 37 seconds. I don't. It's what I said. It's nuclear weapons, guys. I mean, yeah, like it would have completely changed maps and history, and history would be very different. And Cuban Missile Crisis, for instance, like that wouldn't have happened. Stuff like this. Chernobyl. A lot of things would have changed based off this.
Now, are you arguing nuclear weapons or nuclear?
The invention of nuclear weapons.
Invention of nuclear weapons.
Weapons.
Yeah,
so specifically weapons.
The weapons is what led to the energy.
Okay.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Man, good choices this round.
Ooh. Yeah.
Good choices.
Jaemeel and Chris.
Okay. On this guy. I thought you were going to put
arguing this one.
Yeah. Okay. Man, really good choices. Also good choices. I picked one of them as my choice and I wasn't able to argue it. So I stand by a lot of what is previously said. But when you take a gigantic tapestry and you see how it affects modern history or modern times, and you start pulling in threads, you go back and you can pull one that kind of that both relates to both of what was mentioned, and that is the start of World War II, which is my selection. Okay, so it has improved society both in terms of employment, in terms of introducing social development, and also in terms of benefits. It moves science up to the forefront a million times over. How so? Penicillin, for example, antibiotics, right? Before World War II, it was basically a theory done in test tubes. But with World War II, scientists then spearheaded the biggest collaboration effort to take antibiotics from the test tubes to actual patients, right? So you have that. You have the introduction of modern training for industrial jobs was based upon World War II as well. Canada also affected in it. Okay. Got points.
Great arguments.
Yeah, that seems short.
Chris. Great arguments,
Okay.
guys.
Great arguments.
Rebuttals?
Well, I think they're all really good picks too. I think that antibiotics and the start of World War II, and in our case, nuclear weapons, and how that the Cold War and just mutually assured destruction. They're all like roughly within the same 20 to 30 year span of those events. And I think that in terms of how they would affect history, absolutely they would be completely different. We would likely not be alive because history would have went very different, and those events would have played out differently. But in terms of what's the most significant, I think just in terms of lives saved, I think ours is strongest because if crazily enough,
life saved
could destroy the entire world.
No.
You brought up Chernobyl.
Penicillin kills that completely, dude. that is a horrible statement you just said. I'll give you a chance to rethink that one over. Kevin, please, on to you.
If there were no nuclear weapons, Russia and America would have fought a war sometime in the 20th century, right?
So let's think about that for a second. I'm going to help you out, Kevin, for a second.
Sure.
In terms of war, how many people die of diseases from war versus bullets?
Many more.
Many more.
Many more.
How many more? I actually have numbers for that. There is, I believe it was 17 million soldiers and civilians died, right, in World War I to bullets and war blasts versus 50 million due to the flu. Okay.
And people used to die of foodborne illnesses before. Antibiotics is everywhere. It's in everything.
Yeah, you got me.
Body count. This is the biggest impact on modern day life, and
and having half the people that are here now would have a huge impact on modern day life.
And what are you talking?
Thanos taught us that.
And World War II, spearing the scientific. Sorry, let me make sure the judge can hear. And World War II, spearing the scientific community to actually develop antibacterial medication to the point where it can actually help people is indeed an important factor in that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue that because obviously Jaemeel picked this one before we got it before he did.
Prepared better than I did.
Thank you, Jaemeel, for your statements. I think they were great. I'm going to quickly touch the nuclear one here.
Go ahead; it'll help me out.
It's almost everything Jaemeel said. Really, I understand where you guys are coming from, and I think there are some great inventions that happen because of harnessing nuclear power. I would have actually went with nuclear power if I was going to go with it instead of nuclear weapons, but I understand the principle, and it is a trickle-down effect, and yes, you would get nuclear power from nuclear weapons because they clearly were weaponizing things first. But yeah, eradicating people or having the ability to threaten to eradicate people doesn't necessarily make things better. As for the argument, I've already forgotten what you guys picked. What did you guys pick, Jaemeel and Chris?
The start
of World War II.
Start of World War II.
Oh, the start of World War II. There was a lot of good innovation that happened. What you're saying is that if we didn't have World War II, we wouldn't have all these innovations, which is absolutely true. Computers even, stuff like that. These are all things that derived from World War II.
TWI, the inclusion of women into the workforce, U.S. turnaround from the Great Depression, Canadian benefits and
I'm not doubting anything you're saying.
The only thing with yours, Jaemeel, is I feel like all of those things kind of would have happened anyway, just at different times.
The key to this question, though, is the fact that the word human is in it, and if you're going to preserve life, that is the greatest gift you can do. And clearly, out of all of these things, I think realistically, antibiotics is clearly the winner when it comes to preservation of life. I don't think anybody's denying that on this panel. Yes, we can preserve life by avoiding war. But I don't think that's a strong enough argument for you compared to the other two, which is World War II and obviously antibiotics. As for World War II, it did eradicate a lot of people. You can ask the Jewish population on that one. But it's
did the war?
I'm sure antibiotics helped a lot more Jews than
to the preservation of Jewish life.
Was the war a response to Oh, absolutely. I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I
just
agree.
want to make sure that we have that point.
Yeah, no, and I'm not doubting that. What I'm saying is, out of all three of these, if I actually interpret the question the way it was written, which it says human history, I think human history and preservation of life clearly is the winner there.
Spurred on by World War II for your I think that my subject kind of covers both.
But let's be honest, though. Penicillin was created in 28 is when it was actually
1928.
And, so that was well before World War II.
Yes, exactly. And Alexander Fleming did nothing with it. And it wasn't until World War II that the spur from the scientific community to take what was from a test tube into actual patients.
Certainly a catalyst. Certainly a catalyst.
You don't do World War II, Jaemeel, and then Hitler isn't defeated. And then so if he's not defeated, then how's the world look today if he's never defeated? You know what I mean? Like you can't if you just stop the whole thing of World War II, the beginning of World War II, then
if it just didn't happen, if you just skipped it, it would.
Thank you, Jeff and Dave. I appreciate that also point. Great.
Well, in terms of like, can I just? I have a. Oh, okay.
I think we're done.
I think you guys were done from before. Thanks.
We already
good coming out. Good coming out.
Want to hear anything else? I have a final thought.
Sure, Dave. Your final thought, Dave.
Okay, in terms of where we're coming from, is that the fact that the nuclear deterrent became the standard between the great superpowers in terms of how warfare would go. And now that we don't have direct confrontations over treaties as we used to, there's a lot of people who, World War II, Vietnam, there was all these generations of men who were displaced, traumatized with post-traumatic stress. That largely doesn't happen anymore because so few we haven't had
so wrong on that
in the world powers, at least. I'm not saying everywhere in the world
it's completely wrong,
but
PTSD is one
we
of the
haven't
worst
had a war,
causes
a mass
in the
conscription since Vietnam.
There's wars happening right now. Just because you're not seeing every war doesn't mean it's not happening.
It was
that's not the point I'm making, Jody.
Good try, dudes. I appreciate it. Judge, please go ahead and give your ruling.
I'm giving it to Jody and Kevin.
What? With Jaemeel for the assist.
Thank you, Jaemeel.
Yes, with Jaemeel for the assist.
Does Jaemeel get like a half point?
Oh my gosh.
That was our original choice.
Dave, can I make a quick suggestion to you? I think we need more wrestling moves and shit in the background.
Wrestling stuff?
Yeah, you started strong, but it seems the spirit's getting lost. There you go.
Next round, baby. Let's go.
I have faith you guys can bring it back.
Going into the last one, what are the points at?
We have 2.
1 and 1. 2, 1 and 1. No.
2, 2, 1.
No, because we've done 5 questions.
No, we've only got 1. So you guys have each got 2.
2, 1 for 2 for team 1.
We could have a 3-way tire after this.
And 2 for team 3.
Okay,
things are getting exciting.
Okay. All right. So wild card.
Does this mean
you need this point to tie it up?
Uh-oh. I don't remember what we are. Hold on. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Your answer?
Hold on.
Not memorable answer, did you say?
30 years of weed. Yeah, I didn't remember the fucking answer right now.
We're going to wild card, aren't we?
Yeah, wild card. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know this one. Never mind.
Which fictional character would make a great U.S. president?
I'm going to win this.
Let's give some better.
Well, I think Jody should go first. He's so confident.
I go first. You want me to go first?
Well, it's Jaemeel and Chris's turn to go first.
Then they need to go first.
All right.
Throughout history, there are many men in fictional television that has had such a response. You think of the Archie Bunkers. You think of the Jean-Luc Picards. But to be a president, I'm thinking of the man they call Duke Silver, a.k.a. Ron Swanson. He is a perfect example of not necessarily the perfect person, but the perfect person to be president. He is the director of Pawnee City Department of Parks and Rec, 3 times married, 2 times divorced, a libertarian who loves woodworking, hunting, whiskey, breakfast foods, and nautical literature. Right? He is a hard worker. Right? He believes in education, and he believes in the people he works with. Doesn't believe in big government. He believes in people. Ron Swanson.
Perfect president.
Ron Swanson for president. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
A little tear.
Yeah.
Ron Swanson, eh?
Jeff and Dave.
Well, this won't be necessarily a tough one, and Jeff's kind of giving it away because we have the ultimate candidate, someone who we established is not corruptible, who will give great speeches, a great orator, somebody who will be logical, who will do the right things, who will put the needs of the many ahead of the needs of the few. We are talking about Mr. Spock from Star Trek, as played by Leonard Nimoy, one of the great, most beloved literary characters. This is a character everyone loves, has amazing fan base, was the most popular part of the original series, is half human, and through his mother is a United States citizen, and therefore has a full credence and clearance to run for this office. In the Mirror universe, even though it's his counterpart, that his counterpart did ascend to become emperor of the Terran Empire and eventually established diplomatic reforms that disarmed them and put them in a more of a peaceful state, as had been established by the other Kirk, as he had established, hey, your counterpart in my universe is a really awesome guy, and you should be more like him, and that's what he did. And that's why our guy would be Spock for president, the ultimate guy, and also, he was an ambassador. He knows how to make compromises between different galactic powers. He understands the big pictures. He's not just about serving on a starship. That's it.
Okay. All right, it's Jody and Kevin.
All right. Our candidate would have a great sign, a sign that people would want to proudly put on their lawn. And that sign would just simply say, "He'll make it so." I'm, of course, talking about Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise. USS in the name as well. Of course, means nothing, but anyway, I just thought I'd say that. You want somebody who's not very biased and pretty fair? That's your guy right there. Ron Swanson, very biased guy. 100% biased, let's be honest. Great character, though. Absolutely love him. And as for Spock, Spock has actually gone against things on many occasions. So let's be honest there as well. He hasn't always flown by the exact rule that he wanted to. I'm sorry, am I talking? Anyway, the Picard itself is a person. He's a person who always puts his crew, or in this case, his country, before himself. This is a man who will definitely walk into any situation, analyze it correctly, and make sure the best outcome is for the people. And that is who you want as a president, not somebody who's a blowhard who decides he's going to constantly do whatever he feels right, which might be the current status right now. Picard, of course, not being of American descent, might have a tougher time becoming a president. However, this question, I'm pretty sure, is pretty open-ended. Picard itself, very fair guy, very honest, and always loyal to his crew, or in this case, his country. And of course, that is what's going to make things the best.
And dead sexy.
And I can say at least 2 people on this panel would be more than happy to sleep with him.
Oh, sorry. Camera's on me.
Sorry, make that. You know what? You might have a point there as well.
Rebuttal. Okay, I want to start with Dave and Jeff. Okay. Spock's first command: he wouldn't listen to anybody.
That's
3
right.
people died. They barely made it off the planet. And then did they ever give him another command? Oh, by the way, that was just a shuttlecraft he was in charge of.
Very true.
When he was younger.
Very
that's
true.
That's like
did they ever give him another command? The next time you see him as
fucking up
captain,
Hawaii.
it's children he's got on his ship.
You have
Exactly.
responsibility thrust upon you, and Spock is logical. He says in Star Trek 4, making a whole
Actually,
species
he's stubborn as fuck is what he is.
And the girl says, whoever said the human species was logical. And then so this is exactly what the United States of America needs. They need a logical.
No, they already have a stubborn president. Like it's
exactly, I agree.
They need a logical president.
Yeah.
What about all of his emotional problems from his childhood, as seen in Discovery? Because that is canon. That is canon.
And
in the animated series.
As far as Ron Swanson, the United States also already has a president who wants to dismantle the government.
Yeah.
So
and Ron Swanson being a guy who doesn't believe in government, I don't think is the best person to put in government.
He does not believe in government overpowering and government overreaching. Yes, exactly.
Ron Swanson is an extreme libertarian.
Yes, but he's a bipartisan. He's willing to work with Leslie and the other people, regardless of their affiliation or their beliefs. He'll do what's best at the end.
No, what does he say to that little girl? What is good about government?
Yeah.
Or what matters about government?
What matters about government?
It doesn't, is what she writes. And he smiles and goes, that's right.
Because he believes in people. The people. The government should be a tool of the people. Not
the U.S. president
the government should exist at all.
His ideology is like too extreme.
Are we gonna have Michael Scott run for president or vice president? Is he gonna be the VP on this ticket?
It's all about the jokes and the yucks.
No, Leslie would be
Scott,
actually
2020.
Leslie would be actually.
And then,
Leslie would. He believes in education. How so? Right?
So
he
you should
believes
have
in
picked
education.
Leslie. That would have been a better argument.
No, I think Ron is the better choice. Right?
Now, Picard. I just want to say Picard. He's the only captain who isn't American. You picked the only one. Not that that's the qualification, but I think
he can't be president.
He can't be president.
We consider him, and we're like.
We're talking a fictional character making a great president.
He's a fictional character that, under the rules of the U.S. presidency,
I love that I just tore apart both your arguments, and you're all like, "He's not American."
Yeah, that's the only argument he has.
Everybody,
he can't be U.S. president. If it was a great U.S. president,
clearly.
If it said great president, that would be one thing because he could be president
of
any country, France, whatever.
Yeah,
he is not a U.S. citizen, so therefore he can't be president. So I shouldn't even bother wasting my breath.
He's like, yeah.
Okay.
He's American apple pie.
It sounds. I don't know, Kevin. It sounds to me like there's a lot of desperation going on in the LP team.
Ron Swanson's dad did not feel that college was important. He dropped Ron off at the metal factory to work. What did Ron do? He hitchhiked to go to school. He shows an interest in the importance of education. What did he do with Andy?
He doesn't follow the rules. We already have one of those presidents.
He introduced a fund so that Andy could go to school and get some education. Right? Andy of all people.
Like, Chris is here.
Chris is here.
Yep.
I almost forgot he was.
Talk, so I kind of left that for a bit.
Chris, do you have anything to add?
I like.
Okay. Okay. So Spock is a bad choice. Picard doesn't even qualify. So therefore, Ron
qualify is the only thing you have, eh? Qualifies literally
automatically. He can't be U.S. president.
We already know what it is like to have somebody in office that doesn't think government should exist, and it's not good.
He does think. Wait, Trump does believe government should exist. He believes it exists as a tool to make money, nothing else.
That's not a government. That's a corporation. Two different things.
Yeah, and he's running it like a
Ron
corporation.
Swanson has more in common with Trump.
And that's how Ron Swanson would run it.
No, he wouldn't. No, he absolutely wouldn't.
Yeah, I agree. You may not vote for him, but I think they have a lot in
He's
common.
an ultimate capitalist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disagree.
Yeah.
I don't think that. I think that
the only thing you guys have ever argued about Picard is the fact that he wouldn't be qualified. That's it. Like he literally because he's not a citizen.
He legit cannot be president.
Whatever.
Would make a great president. He can't. So therefore, you're patient
judge.
Now looks out.
Right.
Let me just ask one question. One question, please. One question.
So what?
One question, please. Judge, are we allowing that as a fair thing? Like, or is this a fictional thing and this is a fictional situation? It doesn't matter what their nationality is.
Fictional characters.
It says great U.S. president.
Dave is mocking us.
Fictional.
Just wondering. We were allowed to submit that answer.
Yes.
Yeah, Chris could submit any answer he wants to.
And I believe the judge is, and I believe the judge is clearly well versed on what nationality Jean-Luc Picard is. So
chose a cartoon. It doesn't mean it would win.
Question for you, Ashley.
I said what fictional character would make a great U.S. president, not
That's right.
which American fictional
correct, you did.
character would be.
Thank you.
able
So really,
to
that
be US
that point
president.
is completely mute from the other two
Yeah.
teams. So therefore, if they come up with something else that may be bad for Picard, that would be all right. But that one just doesn't seem to make any sense.
Spock would care about the people. He would try to make sure everyone was fed, everyone had shelter.
No, he doesn't. He fucked up his first command.
It would be logical. He wouldn't. It would be a logical thing to do.
Picard is not without fault.
He's peaceful.
He's peaceful.
No one is without faults.
Why are we going to have Spock? He's second fiddle all the time, and he never goes
He
higher.
would be a great president.
He's got the charisma. He's got the smarts. He's got the integrity.
That's everything Ron Swanman, so that's not a good point. Picard, who has how many times has messed up, even in more recent times with the show Picard, he is shown to be out of his mind, in bad health. He would be a terrible president, right? Terrible president.
Am I arguing 80-year-old Picard? I didn't even make it.
You're saying Picard.
Yeah, I can pick any time in his life.
You didn't specify what time, so.
Oh, I didn't because it wasn't relevant.
It would be relevant because that's like saying, okay, younger Spock then. Like 18-year-old Spock.
No, yeah, we're going Ambassador Spock for the record here, like older Spock.
So all of his faults and none of the lessons learned. Great choice.
Right?
I think I got a lighter somewhere here.
No matter how old he is.
Doesn't really matter, but I think the
I like
older
that with
Spock-
Jaemeel.
It doesn't really matter is a great mixtape for your character.
And does Spock really care about people? I mean, as Ambassador Spock, he threw all of his friends basically into jail. Like, he put them in these dangerous situations.
Oh, so he'll be a whistleblower.
We'll blow the whistle on his friends. He won't stay to the
He's not
military
even
industrial
corrupt.
complex. Spock is going to fight against.
What happened to
the
Romulus?
Whistle on them.
What
He
happened to
sent them on a
Romulus?
useless.
He's like the new Bernie.
He doesn't even really like Kirk. So he's
What
going to
happened to
I think-
Romulus?
At this point, maybe just.
so he's
just
also
rolling with
petty.
the best.
So he's also petty. That's great.
I've actually decided, and it's funny because good for the last few arguments because it actually changed my mind. But I'm giving it to Jeff and Dave.
What?
Yeah,
Fuck.
Hi, Babylon 5.
I was close. I got one.
Hi, Babylon.
If it's any consolation, Jaemeel, I would have picked yours over theirs.
I can't even believe I managed to come up with any argument for against Ron Swanson.
Me
Ron
too, 'cause I love
Swanson
that
is my
character.
spirit animal.
I love him. He's a great
I
character.
also
I love him.
I don't think he'd make a good president, but I do love him.
I'm flabbergasted that I'm not in the speed round. I'm flabbergasted.
I'm not surprised at all. But anyway,
He needed some support.
Oh, can we get Chris on camera here? I'd like to see how he's feeling.
say goodbye.
I'm doing okay. Hey
Are you
guys.
okay, Chris?
Yeah. Jaemeel, we won the first round. Yes.
You came out swinging.
We did.
I think Jaemeel is. He's
I'm
in a
not
mourning
looking to win
period.
rounds. I'm looking to win games, dude. I'm looking to win games.
At the quarters.
Jaemeel, if we ever do one of these again, I would be honored to be your teammate.
I appreciate it.
That'd be a good team.
It'd be interesting. Anyway, can we move on now? You guys can go suffer in the background.
Yeah, well, you know what's the awesome thing about all of us doing it this week? We have nobody watching or chatting.
Yeah, nobody's here to comment.
Nobody's watching.
Okay.
We'll watch later. Okay. So
Watch it back.
score here is
Dave, you better not quit. I swear, you better not quit.
Team 2 only has 2 points. by
No,
the way.
that's usually my.
how do we
move,
get 7
Jaemeel.
points, Jane?
Yeah, it's because she's added one to ours.
It's 2
We only
points.
have 2 points.
What?
It's 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, we only have 2.
2 points? All right.
Jody and Kevin has 2. Anyway, it is what it is.
There you go.
So yeah, it should read 3, 1, 2.
I want you guys to have.
This is the best. I just love having a back seat for Jane and controller
She's
here.
trying to give extra points for you guys
Just
instead of
click
her
on off.
husband.
And then there we'll go.
Either way, it
There we
doesn't
go.
make any difference. All I can say
Speed
is
round.
Chris and Jaemeel are going to
Yeah,
be sitting on the
'cause
sideline.
It could come
All right,
down
so-
to it for the speed round.
All right, you can take Jimmy and Kevin.
It's time to
off
get rid of them.
audio only. Yeah.
Bye, guys. It was nice
Bye.
seeing you.
Don't go anywhere, guys. You're
Oh,
still-
don't go anywhere. I think we need one
go to
more
three-
here.
three camera.
3 camera, yeah. There you go.
There we go.
Okay, so speed round. I themed this speed round.
Okay, so can we explain how we're doing this? Because this might be a little hard.
Oh yeah, how do we want to do this?
Yeah, so opening statements are 30 seconds. We have to alternate between team members. So, it's Jeff or me, whoever wants to start between the two teams. And
And we just
All right,
alternate?
I'll start Kevin, and then we'll
Okay.
alternate.
Yep.
I'll do movies.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. So, and then, so it's 30 seconds, and then the rebuttal time limit is 1:30.
And we're allowed to just shout it an answer, right?
Right.
Yep.
And the teammates can jump in after the for that minute rebuttal, but again, it's only 90 seconds. So.
All right.
Okay. Movie.
Ding ding.
What's the worst movie based off of a video game?
The Super Mario Brothers. Do I just start? All right. This is god awful. Anybody who ever watches it, this complete retelling. This movie stars John Leguizamo and Bob Hopkins, I think. And Dennis Hopper is playing King Koopa. It's complete reimagining. Very rarely follows the source material at all. If you're going to do a tribute to a movie, to a franchise, you probably should at least keep it fairly canon. There's not a lot going on. It's a gritty city, not a mushroom kingdom. And you have two guys who close to the characters they should be.
Okay, I'll go with Mortal Kombat 2.
Okay.
It's like the first one it seems like actually a pretty cool movie, but by the time I get to the second Mortal Kombat, even though there's some like half decent performances, the overall movie is a terrible, like misconstrued plot. It just goes right down. It gets more and more campy as it goes along, and it's just a terrible movie. Especially a video game movie. I mean, it really has nothing other than the character names and like how they look. They don't really react in a world that makes sense. So I'll go with that.
Super Mario Brothers, the movie, is a travesty, an absolute travesty to movies as well as the content. It's awful. The characters are terrible. You don't like them. There's nothing good about this movie. There's nothing redeeming. At least I can watch Mortal Kombat 2 and watch some cool fight scenes. And there's some neat special effects as well, but it's a low budget movie and it shows, and I agree with that. Mine was a blockbuster. It was supposed to be a blockbuster. They put a ton of money into this movie and it was terrible. At least they probably got back their money off of Mortal Kombat 2.
I'd say the biggest disappointment was with Mortal Kombat 2, because the first one movie is decent enough, but yeah, I agree that like it's bad Super Mario Brothers, but at least it was just bad from the get, right? So the disappointment factor wasn't as big as it was for Mortal Kombat 2, where the franchise just kind of really took a nosedive, where they had an opportunity to make it much better.
Right. They had a kind of good formula and they ruined it.
They didn't make a second one of mine for a reason.
Yeah, because I saw the poster and I went, I'm never going to see that.
It was a garbage movie.
Redeeming factors were like, we got tickets to WrestleMania at the end. And they're like, yeah, right, that was fun.
What?
I remember that.
No. I've never seen the movie because I saw the poster. And
You're doing yourself justice. Both these movies are terrible. I will completely agree. One of them managed to lose the studio a lot of money, and it was a god awful reimagining. And at least Mortal Kombat 2 at least had, a decent amount of visual comparativeness to the actual video games themselves.
Okay, I'm going to give it to Jody.
Thank you.
TV. What TV show had the most entertaining video game based off of it? So a video game based
Captain
on
Power.
a TV show.
Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future.
That wasn't a video game.
It was a video game. You played it at home.
No, you didn't.
It was a toy game. You had a gun and you shot the thing in the thing. That's a kind of a video game.
You're talking the one where you shoot it to the video cassette thing?
Yeah, I'm talking about the Captain Power.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
and it was a great TV show.
I was thinking traditional video game. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not a traditional video game. It was toy/video game that was also tied in with this TV show. That was part of the model at the time, was like create toys and then make a TV show to accompany it. This was a live action show that starred some great actors, including the guy who played LaForce in Mallrats. He was Tank Soldier, guy, and all these great things, right? Captain Power. And then you play the game, and it was such a fun show. It was like the year is 2462, the place, and it's so much fun. It was awesome. That's it. That's all I have to say.
This is a tough one for me. I'm gonna go with Gunsmoke.
Excellent choice.
This is an old Nintendo game. Shoot 'em up, and you go forward, and you shoot one direction or the other direction. You're shooting people on top of buildings. You're shooting people out of barrels. And the game gets progressively harder, which games don't do anymore. And you feel a real sense of accomplishment when you get as far as you can in this game. Cowboys, guns. It's just fun.
I just like to say that Kevin made more of an argument that his game was fun, but it's not more about the TV show. I think it's what TV show is most.
What TV show has the most entertaining video game based on it? It's down at the bottom.
Got it. Well, it's still Captain Power.
It's a loose interpretation of a video game.
It's up here in the command center.
Kevin, did you get my text message?
Yes, but that made me think of another one that would have won even over that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I can't even
Anyway, if I knew this question was going to happen, I would have switched.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Sorry, Dave, your game.
Yes.
It was a gun that you bought. Was it like?
It was like a gunship thing, right? It flew through these incredible caverns. It was like.
So it was pre-rendered video on a VHS thing, and it had these flashing boxes.
Yeah.
And when you shot the gun, it picked up the IR signal from that. And what ended up happening is then you got a score. It's the most loose interpretation of the term video game I've ever heard. But anyway,
like Duck Hunt?
A little bit like that.
Not even like that, really. But yeah, same type
technology.
of idea. Yeah.
Right.
But there's no scoring. There's no scoring or anything. You just hit it and it makes a sound depending on if you hit it or not.
The gun would have a
The gun had like a little, it had like a little counter on it.
It was incredible.
It's fun though. You're dodging bullets. It's awesome. Like your game sounds like you spend some time setting it up and then you're just bored.
Do you want to be digitized, Kevin? That's what they'll do to you in that time because of the Metal Wars.
So can I say what I would have picked? Because I think that would have been awesome. Is DuckTales.
I would have picked South Park. Any one of their games, but the true.
You know what I should have picked?
The Stick of Destiny.
Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers.
That would have been good. Pretty much all the Disney games for the most part.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think I gotta give it to Kevin because Dave's doesn't sound like a video game.
It is a video game technically, but yeah.
Okay, what's the
Terrible
score?
choice in both of them.
I think we're tied.
4-3 now.
Actually, I think we're winning now.
4-3, yeah.
Yeah. They tied us up last round, and so
I have a funny feeling you guys are going to tie us up in the next one, though.
We got music next, okay? And Jeff's arguing this one.
What's the question?
Which video game has the best soundtrack or music?
Sonic 3. Sonic 3 was composed, actually, most of the songs in Sonic 3 was actually composed by Michael Jackson. And he actually made some great video game music. It's a solid entry in the Sonic franchise as well, which didn't, hurt that at all. But the music is very iconic. If you actually are a fan of any of the games, you would definitely find a distinct sound from the third series. Very good. That's all I got.
Jeff?
I'll take Mega Man. I'll take the original.
Which one?
The original.
Solid choice.
The first one. It's just like the classic, like like just like the guitar and it's like the pew 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 and I don't know. It's just like
how'd that go again?
Yeah, well, you know how wet, and it just like with all the heavy metal guitar, and it's like you constantly.
The visual for Dave is way better.
Dave's really selling it for me more than I could do with words.
Yeah.
But what's important is Mega Man was badass. It was pretty kick ass. I think it was better than Sonic. Sonic, I couldn't even tell you how the music goes, but I know how the music goes with Mega Man.
Mega Man 2 was definitely a better musical pick, though. I would have picked 2, but anyway. Solid choice. I guess this is rebuttal time, right?
Rebuttal.
My music was made by a very popular artist. He collaborated with it, and he actually managed to make a lot of the tracks. I think when you have a top pop performer such as Michael Jackson making your music, it certainly brings it to another level. I'm not familiar with any of the composers for the Mega Man series. I will agree that there is some catchy tunes in there, but I think for the music to actually portray the level, I think Sonic 3 definitely hands down wins. There's some apocalyptic type music in there, and it really portrays the image of what you're seeing on screen, which I think is a very good point for a soundtrack for a video game.
Dave, help me out on this one, because I think Mega Man is like the iconic video game music.
Well, I think Mega Man is one of the great Nintendo franchises, right? Like in terms of the video games and the sound that comes with it. Like Sonic, I think is just a B franchise from Sega that obviously lost the war. So why would we even want to give it any credit here? It's a loser.
Lost the war.
Mega Man's a winner.
Yeah, Sonic and a loser.
Mega Man's a winner and Sonic is a loser.
You do know that Mega Man is not just specifically on a Nintendo platform, right?
He's Capcom.
The original
Capcom
is the developer.
More of a Nintendo guy, and he's a winner.
And a bunch of Japanese guys probably made the music, and it's awesome.
It's great. What composers?
You can take the music in Mega Man and literally put it in any other stage, and it still fits. Whereas the Sonic 3 music kind of fits for the actual action that's happening on screen.
It's like I'm
too happy.
It's too happy. I'm in this wonderful.
You obviously have never played 3 because 3 was not happy.
Mega Man is mysterious, but it's also kind of badass.
When I'm going to grab some weird golden rings, I'm going to spin
You guys
around.
are so
I'm going to
stretching,
shoot
it's not even
things.
funny.
I'm going to assimilate.
It's definitely not about the music anymore.
No.
Right? You load up.
Pew, 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 pew.
Judge, I gave you a lot of reasons why I clearly have the better pick.
Sonic is a loser.
I'm surprised neither one of us picked
Mega Man
any
is a
Super
winner.
Mario game, though.
I know. So I'm surprised no one.
I
picked
would
the
have picked Super
Zelda
Mario
game.
Brothers.
I would have definitely picked that over Sonic 3, but Sonic 3 is clearly better than the Mega Mans.
Who won?
I think I'm gonna give it to Jeff.
Oh my god!
That was a hard one, though. Those are
By the
both
way,
answers.
I'm just going to go on record and say that was definitely a charity point.
that was a tough call. In my, they're both great.
They're like, it's a good game, and it's got
hard
good
to choose
sound.
between Jeff and Dave made me laugh. I picked them.
All right. Sometimes it's about that.
Sports. The best sports video game.
Oh, fuck. This is
Specific.
NHL 94.
Sports video game?
Yeah, like you can't just choose a
Come on.
sports franchise. It has to be a specific game.
Come on, Kevin. You gonna beat me in a sports video game argument? All right,
You guys
I'm
can
ready.
pick first.
Yeah, you
I did. I picked.
You already picked first. You gotta
Okay,
you gotta start talking.
Then argue.
I'm going NHL 94 for the Super Nintendo. This was a fantastic game that established one of the great how to do hockey in a video game, which was up until that point a very difficult thing to do. Right? Like it had a lot to do with the fact that how do you bring this to life? Like baseball and other sports were a little easier early on to sort of digitize, if you will. But with NHL 94, it just had everything. You had all the players, you had the names, the numbers, you could track all that around. I think you could do trades and different things as well. This was the definitive, if you were a hockey fan, this was the definitive hockey game, maybe of all time. And it was a huge stepping stone in sports video games. That's all I got.
Kevin, look at your text messages.
It's cheating.
Oh no! Come on. Now you've lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
We win.
No, you don't.
Well, I think we have to give an answer, Kevin.
Let's go with stunts. This is a car racing game. Where
I know that one. Yeah,
it was for the computer. It wasn't for the console.
Very sporty.
Yes, it is. Racing is a sport. Deal with it. As much as golf is.
Yeah, if baseball is a sport, racing is a sport.
This game was awesome. It was a low poly racetrack. It didn't have the best visuals, but you could make your own tracks, and you had you were racing other people, but you had loops and all sorts loops and jumps and all sorts of stuff like that. Almost like an Excite Bike, but in a car.
I think my answer would have been better.
Is F-Zero like FX or whatever? Is that a sports game?
Is it car racing?
Yes.
Then yes.
But it's not. But it's like space cars.
Okay, but it's a
future
of the
sport.
Future.
It's sports though.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about this? Like,
I think we're debating if cars are sports, but I think that's a challenger. But I think
is NASCAR a sport?
Car racing.
It has cars and it's racing, so I don't know why we're talking about this still.
In stunts, you're literally driving an Indy car. Like this is racing is a sport. Don't even if that's your only argument, you're going to lose, which is
not my only argument. I just think it's a video game I've definitely never heard of.
Listen, NHL '94, you can still go back and play that motherfucker, and it's gonna be great.
I still go back and play
version of the game, though.
Stunts was one of the first games where you could actually build your own levels, your own tracks, your own everything. It was the predecessor to all of those good games, much the way that you say that NHL 94 was the first of those.
NHL 94 was the first time you could build your own dynasties. When you got the personalization of the players into the game.
Right.
Great. You got to personalize your car and your tracks.
Whalers, man.
Nordiques plays my nobody take my Nordiques.
Yeah, I like my old Nordiques.
My old Nordiques. Don't take them away from me. That's what they said when you could do that with NHL 94.
Yeah, they couldn't take them away. It was done.
That's why it's the best.
So can I just make one quick comment here?
Yeah.
Their game doesn't exist.
Stunts?
No, NHL 94 isn't a game.
What do you mean?
It's not. It was called NHL Hockey. It wasn't NHL 94. 95 was the
Sports
first time they used the year.
94.
So therefore, you don't even have a title that actually exists.
You know what we meant.
I don't care what I know what I mean. I know what you stated, and that was not true.
Oh,
That's
you're not a fact checker. Oh.
It wasn't a game.
Meow. You're there with your little Google.
I got to win one way or the other way. Wow, you're really that threatened by my statement, eh?
It's NHL 94.
Everyone knows NHL 94. What are you talking about?
Nope, never called that.
No. NHL 94 was called NHL Hockey for the PC.
No, it was never called 94 on Genesis.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Ashley, if you want to give the point to Stunts because of some technical.
Oh.
It was called.
They're not even here. Do we win?
Let me sub in for him. I'll take over for him.
All right. I wanted to see if they would figure it out or not.
There was an NHL 94.
There was. It's literally
I know.
right here.
I'm just trying to see if I can get them or not. It was called 94 on the console release. I know that.
Are we back?
No.
Yeah. Anyway, I was just causing shit. I just wanted to see if they'd react.
94, that was the one you wanted to play. Whether it was on Genesis or whether it was on Super Nintendo, doesn't really matter.
I know, I was fucking with you, but you missed that part.
I played on an emulator. It doesn't really matter. You know, you just got to play that thing. And it's a great little sports game. It started the whole hockey game. What it is today. It's
the first iteration of the game was just called NHL. Yeah. But anyway.
It doesn't really matter.
It's a mute point. I was fucking with you guys. I wanted to see what you'd say. I think Stunt's a better game, but anyway.
I'm giving it to Dave.
You should.
Whew. Okay.
And Kevin, if you used my pick, we probably would have won.
What was your pick?
I don't.
Pong.
I would not consider that a sport.
Pong.
And also, Dave and Jeff used the lesser version The Super Nintendo version is inferior to the Genesis one, which had better speed and also better music processing. Shame on you.
I brought it all
had the
around,
Genesis
Jaemeel.
one.
And I would have
had
picked
the Genesis
95 over 4 anyway. 95 was better.
All right. Whoops. Let me find my questions here. Where are we on? History. The most entertaining video game based on or played in a period of Earth's history.
Just one period? Or just...
It just needs to be played in history. Like, it can't be based within the last, I would say, the last 25 years.
Okay,
So it has to be something based in the last 25 years or before that?
I'm going to go with Medal of Honor. Medal of Honor Allied Assault. That's my choice.
Okay.
Solid pick.
So Medal of Honor Allied Assault came out around the time, like Saving Private Ryan was the big deal. A lot of war movies are coming out, and they really kind of like made the whole game kind of look like Saving Private Ryan. And it kind of was the launch pad to Call of Duty. And Call of Duty is like one of the biggest games now ever. But the Medal of Honor Allied Assault was like the original. It was the OG. It was the baby. And it really spawned the genesis of like what we know is like first-person World War II shooters. And it's just like, for me, if you're going to talk based on a part of Earth's history, like World War II is really cool because like the guns are very, they're not very like futuristic. A lot of gun games are like really powerful weapons. Well, it's just like machine guns or a rifle or a pistol. That's really all you get.
That thing's creepy, by the way.
At that baby.
Me out, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy, that thing.
All right.
All right. I'm going to go with the... I'm on audio right now. There you go. I'm going to go with the... somewhere around the same time frame as the release that you're picking here, but definitely a much more popular game compared, which was Battlefield 1942. So this was a first-person shooter game. It had a standard campaign, but it also had a extremely amazing multiplayer. The thing that was revolutionary about this game was not only was it accurate to all the vehicles and the weapons of that era, it specifically went to 1942, obviously by the name. But the cool thing about the multiplayer was that you could actually fly. You could sail around in boats, and you could have a battleship, or you can go fight on land. It was just overall, it was a really fun game, and certainly quite entertaining.
Was certainly a fan of the Battlefield 1942, but I did not play it as much as I played my Medal of Honor Allied Assault. It was the most fun. I played that one definitely the most. It was the most entertaining for me. 1942 was one of those ones where I would just go on and like hop in a tank, and it was fun for like half an hour, and then I was kind of like, I missed my old game. I would go back to the Allied Assault. Also
I was there. I saw it. I saw this happen.
Right, and in Medal of Honor Allied Assault, they also have like the Saving Private Ryan mission. If you play the single player campaign mode, you can do the whole storm of the Omaha Beach in that game, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, I remember him saying that. He was like, "This is much better. I don't want to play that game that Jody's talking about."
Your game was a great game. Don't get me wrong. Allied Assault, definitely one of my favorite games. Fantastic, but it was a single player focused game. It was a great mission based game. You could recreate a lot of things that you've seen in war movies and stuff. The best thing about Battlefield 1942 was the fact that I could bring all my friends together with me. I could have a really good time, and I think that's probably the most important thing I could do is spend time with my friends and kill some Nazis, and that's a lot of fun.
Who needs friends when you can kill Nazis by yourself?
I look at games as something to bring people together. At least you got the rim shot on that one. I liked it. But overall, I just think the experience that was given to me by 1942 over Allied Assault was great, but once you play it, you play it. And 1942 had much better replayability.
Okay, I'm giving it to Jody.
Thank you.
Was it?
So what's our score now? The Who Need Thanks friend.
Oh yeah,
maybe.
we're going to the last one.
2, 3.
I think we're tied. Or no, we're one ahead right now.
I believe you're one up at the moment.
I think we're one up right now. So you guys have to win the next one.
Yeah, they don't have a
Force a tiebreaker? Yeah.
Yeah,
All
to
right.
do the tiebreaker. And if we win the next one, then we just win.
You can just go right.
That's probably what's going to happen. Because Kevin's up next.
Yeah, and I'm so good at this.
I have faith in Kevin. Oh, Kevin,
What?
you got this one.
What video game shows that graphics aren't everything?
Wolfenstein.
Okay.
I'll go.
Are you-
Okay, Wolfenstein is a game from the early '90s that was like the pioneer in first-person shooter games. It was going throughout like this Nazi camp where you had to shoot the Nazis and the German shepherds and everything else. They made these great sounds, but it's really grainy and looks just like like a kind of a flat mosaic surface that's kind of changing pixels on you.
You're talking
largely.
Wolfenstein 3D,
But
right?
if you can look at it through the right lens, I'm using the right name, right? Yeah.
Wolfenstein 3D? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. It was just like, well, this looks like crap, but I love this game. This is so much fun, and that I think is the epitome of showing you something graphics aren't everything, because you will suspend disbelief just for the pure enjoyment.
All right, I'm gonna pick The Legend of Zelda because that's one of the greatest games ever.
Well done.
And it's not. It's just a top-down. The graphics are just a few little pixels. Nothing. I mean, and nothing is that good. Also, Wolfenstein was actually, for its time, the state of the art, not that graphics aren't everything. That was the top of the line at that time. And so, but Zelda has so many games after it. People love it. It's one of the most beloved series in video game history.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that Wolfenstein wasn't state of the art at the time. It's more that it's more of a hold up ability, because it's about what video game shows that graphics aren't everything. And for me, that was more about like what's the replayability of that. Can
we get people on screen?
Compared to
There we go.
I'm and so that's how I was looking at it. Not in terms of like at the time, oh, I can't believe I'm playing this. More like, wow, this game was amazing at the time, and 30 years later, 20 something years later, we're like still really good. Like
you still play it?
Yeah.
I don't think you do.
Oh, I love it. Love it all the time.
I do, however, still play The Legend of Zelda all the time.
You can play.
Yeah. And I think that really comes down to what Kevin said. And Kevin basically said, yeah, at the time this was state of the art. It was very hard to see 3D graphics back then because we didn't have the ability to render them with with computers at that point. Mm-hmm. So it was really hard to make a game like that. So it was revolutionary at the time. Obviously, 30 years back, now we look back at it, we're like, oh, this was shit. But it was revolutionary at the time. Legend of Zelda wasn't anything special at the time, but it was great. It was a great game.
It was pure gameplay.
Full of secrets, and I'm still finding stuff that I didn't find 30 years ago. It's so where Wolfenstein, once you played it, you pretty much got it. And the only reason why I asked you, Dave, was because there was Wolfenstein before Wolfenstein 3D. So I just wanted to make sure we're on the right page. Right. But yeah, I think clearly Zelda is the winner here.
I don't know about that. I think Wolfenstein, kind of stands out as one of those games where you always look back and go, wow, they did a pretty good thing with the graphics of the time, and it kind of showed that they could make a good game.
A 3D game without 3D technology, right?
Yeah,
it was
kind of like the precursor to a lot of like 3D.
Well, it paved the way for stuff like Doom.
It's a good game, but if we're talking gameplay, Zelda hands down is definitely a more interesting and more rich.
And Zelda wasn't a great looking game when it came out. Whereas Wolfenstein was top of the notch, right?
I just add also that the thing with Wolfenstein, which really made it iconic for me, was just the voice sounds and like not the dog barking, but also like these crazy Germans sounds that like words they would make when you walked into a room.
But you played that on a sophisticated computer that had a better Sound Blaster card. All of us who started with it didn't have that, so those were things that came out after.
The dogs, remember the dogs?
Yeah. Yeah, you remember that franchise that started it all and spurred out multiple copies of various types of games? That, by the way, was Zelda.
German Shepherds.
Yeah, you guys got dogs. We have a whole franchise.
Hitler.
There was Hitler in the game. Yeah, he had robots.
You
got German Shepherds. You got Nazis.
It was all not 3D, but it didn't matter.
It was Allied Assault before Allied Assault.
You suspended disbelief. You suspended disbelief.
Good luck, Ashley.
It's going to Kevin.
I thought so. Which means I believe we win.
How dare you spit on
Travesty! Travesty!
Outrage.
Do we get some winning music or something? There we go.
Let's bring. Can we
Which, by
bring
the
in back either Jody and or sorry, Chris and or Jaemeel? You can take us. We're losers. Take us down.
We're losers. Now I feel bad.
Oh boy.
What you guys
Dave, you're
missed
no Sonic.
off screen is me pulling out my hair and
Oh, I
going
know.
insane over these questions.
I was
They were
watching your
great
comments.
questions. They were great questions.
You can write
By the way,
next.
it's Kevin and Jody, not just Jody.
Yeah, Kevin and Jody.
I know you're used to that, but this time you have to add Kevin.
Oh my gosh. That Sonic 3 answer was top
Abysmal.
notch. Well, no, Sonic
Abysmal. I
Sonic
could have
3
picked better.
No, that was a great thing because, as I mentioned in the chat, Michael Jackson used the songs from Sonic 3 as his pop hits, right?
Yep.
So the composition was good enough
should
that
have
they actually
used
made like millions of dollars, right? Millions of record sales off of that. Mega Man, you that's the argument that you guys brought. Mega Man is single-handedly responsible for the chiptune movement. Right?
Yeah.
You can say that game soundtracker is responsible for an entire genre of music, and you did not use that.
Jaemeel, 2 was better though. For music.
Bring us back.
2 is better, but 1 is the precursor for chiptune music. It like what people refer to.
I just
Yeah, I
want
wanna
to
see
say,
the-
like, we
you
were
can
out of
take
our
me
depth
off. I
when
wanna
she picked a video game theme for this whole speed round.
Yeah, this was not.
You play
Jody's
video
the only
games.
one.
We like them, but not like Jody. Jody's like the friggin' encyclopedia of video games. Like, why don't we just pick a uniform?
Jody
theme?
no
Yeah, but
offense,
it's
but
good.
if you were the encyclopedia, then I would have been wiki. I would have been the wiki of
You
video
guys
games.
did well.
Oh, I'm not.
Ashley, you're
I-
being too kind.
They did too well.
With Medal of Honor Allied Assault.
Medal of Honor Allied Assault. You should be ashamed of yourself for choosing that. You should be absolutely straight up ashamed of it.
I like the game.
It's a good game, but if you're trying to win, like why didn't you pick like Red Dead or friggin' or GTA
so many great
Vice City?
historical-
Because I wanted to go with.
I would
Medal
have picked
of Honor
Assassin's
Allied
Creed.
Assault.
Assassin's Creed.
I was
In
gonna
a
pick
speed
Assassin's
round,
Creed,
you're going to
but
go with what you know. What comes to mind.
The problem with Assassin's Creed is it doesn't really follow any historical things.
No,
Doesn't
It
have to.
takes
I
place
love-
in
Oh,
a
okay.
historical
It doesn't
setting.
have to. It takes
That was
place
the
in
I
a
interpreted it wrong then.
historical setting. It
I would have
doesn't
picked
to be
Black Flag because you
historical.
get boats as well, and I just love
Actually,
it.
Black Flag came up to me, and then I'm thinking to myself, well, it's complete fiction. Like, there's really nothing good in there when it comes to actually historical.
No, it didn't matter
relevant.
if it was. It didn't matter if it was fictional.
I
As long
interpreted
as
it wrong,
took
so that's my
place
fault.
In Earth's history.
Mortal Kombat 2. Come on.
Oh yeah, there's.
I don't think any movie is winning against the Mario Brothers movie.
House
though,
of the
for
Dead would
worth.
have House of the Dead would have beaten it.
Really? I've never seen it.
Postal would
Well,
have
I've never
beaten it.
seen any of them.
Postal would have beaten it.
Postal, that would have been a good pick. Yeah.
Yui Bowl, like just go down to Yui Bowl, like rabbit hole.
Yeah.
What
Or
was
that the chick one with the red leather on all the time.
what Resident Evil?
No, the other one that Uwe Boll did.
Yeah,
Can't remember the name. Anyway,
it's
that would have been good too.
awful.
Do you know what would have been a great one for that one? The Assassin's Creed movie.
I actually haven't seen it, so I don't know if it's
took
bad or
my
not.
son to see it. He was so excited. He loved the Assassin's Creed games. He fell asleep in the theater.
Oh God,
Yeah,
it's Fassbender is in that one, right?
Yeah, fell asleep.
Yeah.
It was like 2:00 in the afternoon. Fell asleep.
Okay, so was it?
It was, and then I had to sit there and watch this fucking movie, and he's asleep.
What was it? A video game based off of a TV show, and no one said any anime. Any anime would have won. Anyone? You just say
I
Dragon Ball.
I was
Won.
gonna pick.
know
I was
any
gonna pick
anime.
DuckTales.
It hurt my heart to be out of that speed round.
Chippendale would have been good too, though.
Battletoads would have been great.
Okay.
Battletoads wasn't a
TV show.
Wasn't a TV show first.
No,
Really,
guys. You
No.
know what if
Ninja Turtles.
No, I wouldn't have even had
Oh.
Ninja Turtles. Yes, I would.
The original Ninja Turtles.
Hear arguments. ColecoVision, Smurfs.
Uh,
That was a fucking incredible game.
it's not incredible. Let's not
Yes,
go there.
it was.
But
It was
oh, no.
awesome.
I would have I go from left to right.
I
you
would
talking
play-
about?
I
I would have
play
said
it
I
which
jump
of
over
those
something.
games won Game of the Year.
None.
I don't care about that. That's
It's
why
still
all
point.
of mine were. That's why not mine.
Does it-
All of them weren't best. It was like most entertaining.
At this
And-
point, does it matter?
no, it
Who
doesn't.
won?
It matters to me.
I think we need to wrap this up though, because like
Okay.
literally we're still.
Yeah, we
Well,
gotta go
uh,
out and we gotta get.
Yeah. Let's wrap this up. I'm Chris. Sorry, I'm going to take you off down here again. Sorry. And then,
So Kevin, sorry, one question, Kevin. Before we started this, did I not say that we were going to win this?
Yes, you did.
I believe I was correct then. Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make
Another
sure.
point for
Good
Jody.
job.
Another
All
point
right.
for Jody.
Yeah.
And
I got
Kevin.
many of them.
Okay, I want to thank Jane in particular for doing a great job today.
Jane.
As the controller,
Thanks,
she had to
Jane.
move all the cameras around and bring up the ding ding dings and do all that kind of stuff. So I just want to
With all the extra.
and she was doing timers and she had to try to tell us, wait, time's up, guys. And so
We didn't listen, but it was there.
we observed it.
Yeah. So
I think
great job to Ashley as a host. It was a lot. These were a lot of competing, conflicting voices coming into different opinions. So great job sorting it all out. Well,
The second half was better than the first half. That's for sure.
Right. It was a great time. I think it was a lot of fun. Chris, Jaemeel, great job. Sorry you guys didn't make it to the.
I'm
the
sorry
season.
too.
But it's probably we can probably blame Chris, right? Is
I believe the weakest link might have been Chris. Yes.
Chris, what do
what do you
you
mean? Like, my question got us our only point.
True.
That's true. Yeah.
He's got you there.
so
Jaemeel.
maybe you were the
What was the
MVP.
main argument of your point?
I don't remember now.
Yeah, I don't remember. That's mighty convenient.
You know what? We should have won. We could have won another couple of these categories. I think we got screwed on the history one where we found out half an hour before the show that we had a duplicate.
I'm not even blaming on that. I'm not even worried on that.
No.
It was a good argument that Jody and Kevin had to begin with, and I really couldn't
Both of
really
Kevin.
add that much to it. So all I was trying to do was trying to take away their point and direct it to ours, which I knew was not. It was not necessarily a surefire way to win. So, I played with fire and I got burned on that question. So, I understand. It was
I totally
the right
forgot
decision.
about that 1942 thing with you, Chris. I forgot we played that.
Oh, me, you, and AJ.
I just looked at the comments. I'm like, oh yeah,
So-
I forgot about that.
Ashley, you were absolutely right to award them. So,
Look
on
at
that
that.
one.
Yeah, so-
Look at that with Jane just jumping up on the comment there right after I talk about it.
It was
That's some
She had
superior controller work there.
I had to ignore all of my comments because I was like, no, this is wrong. This is right.
So basically, you commented like you normally do.
all right.
Oh,
Well, I
yeah.
think I'm just
Sorry,
gonna lead our sign off in here. Jeff's already gone to the store because you know how it goes.
Jeff's like, I'm done.
I'm done. He was out of here. Walked out of here as soon as he was off camera, and he was just like, got things to do. But thanks so much to everybody. We'll be back next month for the next Trivial Debates. I know Jerry McRae has asked to be in the next show, so
Ooh.
we're gonna see if we can work him in. He hasn't been here since episode 1, so we're gonna see if he can,
Yeah,
he's undefeated
He was
though.
on the inaugural episode.
He's in the very first episode. So we're trying to see if we can work him in, but we'll figure out who the panel is, what the question is, and all that. But this was great. This was a lot of fun. Check out our other channels, Live Long and Podcast and Super Mater Brothers Podcasting. Live Long and Podcast is all of our Star Trek content, where we do 4 times a week, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and on the weekend. We do all kinds of different stuff over there. And over on Super Mater Brothers Podcasting, we have our 3 times a week Big Brother that will also be tonight. Jaemeel, Jeff, and I will be back tonight to talk about the week, I think it's week 8 now, of Big Brother 22 USA as we kind of figure out how that's going to play out as we're going into the final stages of this game. Anyway, so triple eviction this week. Watch that out. All right, so thanks everybody. Thanks to the team. I don't know. It's hard when you because you always feel like you're disrespecting people when you take people off camera. So there you go. So
For the record, I wouldn't feel disrespected.
So just to say good night, and why not just we play a little bit of Funk Down to take us away.
We done.
Dance.